Chapter 5, Your Financial Reserve Vehicle, Single Digit ROI. Everybody dismisses squirrels as rats with fluffy tails, but I think they're pretty clever. Aside from their cunning ability to hack any squirrel-proof bird feeder known to man, they're also excellent planners. You can bet there are no foolish squirrels out there eating every single bite of food they work so hard to collect. And if there were, those squirrels wouldn't even be around long enough to tell the harrowing tale of the winter they almost didn't make it. Nope, they're smarter than that. Squirrels instinctively know that they need their reserves to be overflowing by the time winter comes around, so they work hard to collect more than they need to eat in the present to save for the future. I bet you never thought you'd be reading this, but you need to be more like a squirrel. You must set one acorn aside into the knot hole known as your reserve vehicle for every 5 acorns you collect. Logically, I call this investment vehicle your armored truck. Utilizing a savings vehicle with a built-in ROI is intelligent, and it's also an indispensable first step in my roadmap. Skip this vehicle, and your quest to have it all will stop right here, right now. I assume that doesn't sound good to you, so I invite you to read about this reserve vehicle with an open mind and the curious nature of a squirrel. Curiosity will take you far in life. The curious people in this world are the ones who create opportunities and who see closed doors as challenges waiting to be conquered. So dig up some curiosity and put it to work as we continue. Meet your armored truck. There's no denying it. Money is what makes more money. In chemistry, the law of conservation of mass states that matter cannot be created or destroyed, but it can change forms. An easy way to explain this concept is to imagine a wax candle with a wick. Once you light the candle and it burns down, it looks like the wax is gone. What really happened is that the resin has been transformed into gases, water vapors, and carbon dioxide. But in reality, no matter and therefore no mass is lost through the process of burning. What are you doing to me, Kris? First you make me do math and now you're giving me a chemistry lesson? Hey, don't blame me. Your teachers told you all along that what you were learning would be helpful later. Well, here's the bottom line and why I bring all this up. As great as it would be, there's no way to manifest money out of thin air. That is, unless you're the government. But even then, eventually, however, their money printing schemes will backfire in a big way because you can't defy the law of nature and not answer for it. About the closest a human being can get to manifesting money out of thin air is utilizing the infinite ROI vehicle that I'll cover in Chapter 9. But even then, the money still has to be stored up by someone in order to be available to you. So yes, it takes money to make money. Where the finesse comes into play is how you set up money to attract more money to it. This chapter is all about that finesse. You need a reserve earning a single-digit ROI set aside to create peace of mind, but more importantly, to invest in higher ROI opportunities. What you need is that armored truck that stores all of that fuel that will be used to power up the rest of the investments. On our Financial Freedom Roadmap, it's destination number 1. Your aggressive savings strategy, ASS, is that magic savings number we've already discussed. This monthly 20% comprises the funds that you must stash into your armored truck. Now, you could place it into a savings account, but that would earn less than 1% ROI with no additional benefits. There is a more innovative way. Years ago, when I started having success with my new investments, my reserves began to grow right along with my investment philosophy. Eventually, I had 6 figures just sitting around collecting dust in a savings account. Seeing that balance inertly staring at me, doing nothing, got me wondering, what did the wealthy do with their large cash reserves? We know they don't have savings accounts at their local banks with a few $1,000,000 in there, so what happens to their excess capital? I began interviewing millionaires and billionaires to unearth the answer to this question and others. First, I discovered that making a lot of money causes an almost instantaneous and unquenchable desire to find the most tax shelters possible. With big money comes the big responsibility to be intelligent and save for other lucrative investments. The second thing I discovered is a specific type of savings vehicle that many businessmen and women seem to favor. To my surprise, they stash cash in an underutilized kind of life insurance policy that provides numerous living benefits. Wait, life insurance policies are only payable on death, right? Well, it turns out that's not always true. Yet, for some reason, this strategy gets overlooked and even ridiculed in traditional financial investment circles. For the life of me, I can't figure out why this is the case. I finally determined it must result from a combination of cognitive dissonance and a limited mindset. Because once you start using a life policy for savings, I assure you there's nothing laughable about it. Now, let me be crystal clear. I couldn't care less about life insurance as an investment based on the death benefit. In fact, I'm opposed to it, and that's a topic for another time. Life insurance is traditionally about investing in a death benefit for your heirs. However, I'm talking about life insurance policies with living benefits. To my surprise, a number of my millionaire friends didn't know about these policies either. This is probably because most life insurance agents don't even know about them themselves. Those who do know about them keep their mouths shut. Why? Well, sadly, it's because insurance companies will cut commissions by up to 90% when these policies are created. Self-interest is a heck of a thing, isn't it? If you're feeling skeptical, I get it. Fortunately, it's true. You can earn an extra 5 to 7% ROI on your investments just by using this particular kind of life insurance savings account. As a bonus, this policy also provides death and disability benefits and protection from lawsuits and inflation. That's what a cash value, dividend-paying life insurance policy is all about. I call it your life insurance bank account. I use it just like a bank or a savings account because it gives me a whole slew of perks that the traditional bank accounts do not. Here are the top 7 benefits you'll be the most interested in discovering. Number 1, it guarantees a 4% ROI. By having your cash tucked away in this life insurance bank account, you will receive a 4% ROI guaranteed by state law. I love this guaranteed 4% because every year inflation drives the dollar's value down by approximately 2 to 3%. This 4% ROI hedges against inflation while your money waits to be used for your next investment. Number 2, it pays you dividends. Most insurance companies pay an additional 1 to 3% annual dividend on some whole life policies. In many ways, these dividends are similar to traditional investment dividends, representing a share of a public company's profit. Your dividend amount depends on the amount you pay into the policy. For example, a $50,000 policy that offers a 3% dividend will pay you, the policyholder, $1,500 annually. Or in other words, $50,000 from the policy times 0.03, which means 3%, equals $1,500. Then let's say that you contribute another $2,000 in premium the following year. The policy will pay a 3% dividend on that as well. So doing the math, that comes out to another $60, right? $2,000 at 3%, $60. Add those together, and that means you'll receive a total of $1,560 next year. In other words, the $1,500 from year one, and then because of the added premium the next year, there's another $60 for a total of $1,560. So imagine increasing your pile of money and then getting paid 3% on that increase every time you do. These amounts can increase over time to levels that more than offset some costs associated with premium payments. These dividends are not guaranteed, but if you add their potential to the guaranteed 4%, it means that you can produce up to 5 to 7% annual ROI. Now remember, a single ROI savings account of any kind will not make you wealthy. However, it can counter the effects of inflation and cover the cost of borrowing against the policy. Listen, if you had the chance to earn up to 7% ROI on your insurance bank account or a measly 0.1% ROI from your local savings account, which one would you choose? It's just common sense, which doesn't seem to be very common anymore. The third benefit of a life insurance bank account is that it allows you to borrow cash value to buy more assets. This is my favorite part, right? I mean, you can pull reserves out of your life insurance bank account and then put them into other investment vehicles. This is called borrowing against the cash value of your policy. It enables you to take your money out and still earn money as if it's sitting in your life insurance savings account. You're actually making money in 2 places at once, which is an incredible example of leverage. The same cannot be said for traditional savings. Once you take money out of your conventional bank, all the meager benefits stop right there. Imagine the possibilities of compounding ROI. Let's assume that you're earning your guaranteed 4% plus a 2% dividend for a total of 6%. Then you take the money out of your policy to fund an investment property, let's just say, that produces 25% annual ROI. You might be thinking, what's the cost of borrowing the money out of my policy? Currently, you can borrow that money for as low as 3% while you are simultaneously earning that 6% on the policy. Translation, even after you take that money out for the real estate transaction, you still could be earning a net 3% on your life insurance policy while the money is sitting in your other investment earning 25% for a total ROI now of 28%. 25% on the real estate deal and 3% left over on your policy for a total of 28%. This is the power of compounding ROI and a true example of leverage in action. In case you've ever wondered how the wealthy grow their money, well, this is how. Benefit number 4, this policy enables tax-free growth. As you start earning more money, it becomes increasingly important to minimize your taxable income. The guaranteed 4% ROI and the 1 to 3% dividends all grow tax-free. The more money you make and the more your investments grow, the more critical this benefit becomes. Benefit number 5, it offers guaranteed protection. The government views a person's life insurance as a different type of protected asset class. It means that currently any cash value held in an insurance policy is not litigable. If someone tries to attack you legally, they can't touch this life insurance savings account. In this way, your insurance policies become an integral and immutable part of your legacy. Benefit number 6, it provides a death benefit. Like any other type of life insurance policy, the CVDP life insurance policy contains a death benefit. There's comfort in knowing that if I make a premature or unplanned exit from Earth, I will be leaving my family with a large sum of tax-free money. And beyond that, I'm also insured for a large enough death benefit to cover any outstanding liabilities or debts that I may have incurred in running and building my businesses. Make a plan that leaves your loved ones with assets and a way to eliminate liabilities. Later, I will show you how to acquire real estate and how to invest in the market and how to build businesses, all in a way that utilize leverage. I love putting other people's money to work, and I know you will too. But this also means that you'll have some good debts that are making you money. So should you die prematurely, this death benefit gives your beneficiaries a way to pay off those good debts, ensuring you leave loved ones with a pile of assets instead of a giant liability headache. And the 7th benefit, it delivers disability protection. Suppose you ever become mentally or physically disabled. In that case, the insurance carrier covers the costs and continues paying for the rest of your policy. It's a simple and valuable added benefit. I store my savings in a life insurance policy because I continue earning dividends and interest even when I borrow the money and put it into my investments. This reserve vehicle, my own Loomis truck, supercharges my double-digit, triple-digit, and quadruple-digit ROIs and provides the benefits mentioned above. Utilizing a life insurance savings account makes sense. Who wouldn't want to earn an extra 2 or 3% or more on top of their existing investments? Dun, 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 devil's advocate. I don't know, Kris, this sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? There is no catch. There's only a lack of information. In truth, large insurance companies are a lot like banks. Many of them have been around for over 150 years, and most of them have never missed a dividend payment. These are not fly-by-night operations. We're talking about large protected institutions with guaranteed products that have been around for over a century. How to leverage your armored truck. Now that you've learned more about your new intelligent single-digit ROI reserve vehicle, let's talk about how to intelligently leverage it. Like I stated earlier, you stash cash in a smart single-digit ROI vehicle for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, to reserve financial fuel for future investments. You now know that the law of conservation of mass proves you can't manifest money out of thin air. And unless you're David Copperfield or Houdini, you're going to need more than magic. Aggressively saving at least 20% of your current active income is what quickly meets the needs of your double-digit to infinite ROI opportunities. That makes setting 20% aside for higher ROI investment vehicles your top priority. The most crucial factor in whether you become financially free comes down to your discipline in setting money aside for these investments. I repeat this because it's too important to miss. Reason number 2, to reserve financial fuel for your Swan account. Can you remember a time when you were constantly checking your bank account to make sure your balances could cover your upcoming bills? Have you ever woken up with that sinking feeling of seeing a negative balance and an overdraft notification? These moments create extreme financial stress, and that's the last thing you need when shifting your focus to investing. Your reserve vehicle is more than just a place to stash cash for investments. It's a way to create a reserve that allows you to sleep at night. Here's an important question. What is the minimum amount of money that you need in an emergency fund that will enable you to sleep well at night? Determine what that amount is and write it down, and then work to make it happen. I call it your Swan account or your Sleep Well at Night account. Your first goal should be to save that figure and stash it in your life insurance savings account. There are 3 different Swan savings levels that can help you determine how to proceed with your investments. If you'd like to learn more about the 3 levels and how much to invest in each, go to kriskrohn.com/swan. According to CNBC, the majority, 67% of Americans, save less than 10% of their income. And according to Yahoo Finance, almost half of the American workforce invests none of their money. None. These folks are not building any kind of future where freedom or confidence exists. They're in survival mode, living paycheck to paycheck. Don't be a cautionary tale for your children. You can do better for them and for you. In resume, your reserve vehicle in action. Step 1, reserve. Set at least 20% aside in your life insurance bank account to build up an adequate Swan account and higher ROI investment vehicles. Number 2, invest. Borrow money from your life insurance bank account to make your next investment. And step 3, convert. Deposit earnings back into your reserve vehicle to build up for your next investment. This process becomes exponentially more exciting every time you add new investments to your portfolio and your earnings experience that same exponential growth. Picture for a moment those little toy push cars you may have played with as a child. You know the kind I'm talking about? They require a little bit of force to get them moving, but once you get those wheels turning and you let them go, they zoom off with incredible speed. You may not know that these tiny cars are powered by a friction motor operated by a flywheel. A flywheel is a wheel rotating on a shaft. Its momentum gives almost uniform rotational speed to all connected machinery. Flywheels are used to provide continuous power output in systems where the energy source is not constant. With a flywheel, once in motion, each rotation requires less momentum and spins faster. Now, picture this concept, a money flywheel driving your wealth. On its own, your 20% savings is just a static number that provides the ability to sleep well at night. But put it into a machine and give it a push, and your investments start producing more profit. Each time you put those back into your reserve vehicle and into your investments, this speeds up the process again and adds more momentum. Add this to the momentum you gain by restoring your time, growing your assets, and increasing your cash flow and achieving your goals. And this, my friend, is how you reach financial freedom. Life is all about momentum and energy, and your money works according to the same principles. At this point, I hope you're as excited as I was when I started learning about life insurance savings accounts. Many people I talk to about these accounts have the same questions, so I created a case study with an accompanying FAQ section on life insurance bank accounts, and you can find that at kriskrohn.com/case study. How to add an armored truck to your fleet. Rob Gill is my life insurance company business partner and an authority on using life insurance to fuel your investments. When it comes to using a life insurance bank account, Here's what he tells his clients. Buying and selling property by borrowing from a life insurance bank account is the best way to offset inflation at the same time you establish cash flow. This method achieves the best result on the most accelerated timeline. Never pass on a great real estate opportunity because you don't have the ability to quickly access a pile of money. Rob further agrees that reserving your financial fuel and then pumping it back into your investments like real estate is a great way to build wealth. And you can quickly pay back the down payment borrowed from your reserve vehicle with the cash flow generated from the other investments. You are paying yourself back with interest. It's brilliant. This is not something that you can set up yourself. You have to go through a licensed agent. Remember when I told you that your financial advisors won't want you to read this book? This is because the vast majority of advisors are not well informed on these type of policies. That means it's decision time. Are you going to take action and find answers, or are you going to stay stuck on the sidelines? Once you've decided what amount of money you can save, could be more or less than 20% for now, the second action is to visit the link below to set up your life insurance bank account for free. Over the years, I've met with insurance agents and carriers and interviewed them on best practices for setting up a functional and maximized life insurance savings account. I'm sad to share that many insurance agencies are not up to the task, either due to a lack of understanding or experience. Fortunately, I've come across a few organizations that I trust to put these policies together correctly. Remember, there's a reason why the wealthy don't put their money in regular bank accounts. A life insurance bank account protects your money, maximizes your tax benefits, and doubles your earning potential. For a complimentary cash flow analysis that saves the average person about $9,000 a year, and to learn more about getting set up with a free life insurance bank account, visit kriskrohn.com/cashflow. When you contact agents that I've already vetted and approved, you can be confident that they, number one, understand the vehicle, number two, can expertly help you set it up, and three, will show you how to utilize it. Now that you understand the importance of setting up an intelligent single-digit ROI investment in the form of your very own life insurance bank account, we can shift to an even more exciting topic, higher ROIs. Put 20% of your income into a reserve vehicle and convert it into double-digit ROIs. This alone will enable you to create 27 times more wealth than society's retirement vehicles create. That's all it takes to win, and yet we will discuss even more significant gains later in the book. Over the next 4 chapters, you will feel the need for speed as I show you how to accelerate the process through double-digit, triple-digit, quadruple-digit, and infinite ROIs. So buckle up as you prepare to invest in your new high-performance vehicles. These vehicles will enable you to have it all. End of Chapter 5 checkpoint. Number 1, you must save to invest in order to produce double-digit ROIs or higher. There's no getting around this step. Number 2, after years of interviewing the world's wealthiest people, I discovered they use a different form of savings than the rest of us, a cash value dividend paying life insurance policy that I call a life insurance bank account. Takeaway number 3, a few of the critical benefits of using an insurance policy as your savings account include guaranteed 4% ROI, potential dividends up to 3%, tax-free growth, protected money, and both life and death benefits. Number 4, there are 2 underlying reasons that setting up a reserve vehicle is the first step in my roadmap. It allows for larger ROI investments, and it also allows you to create your swan account. Number 5, treating your reserves and cash flow this way creates a flywheel effect that leverages momentum to exponentially grow your money. And finally, number 6, traditional financial advisors may not be well versed in this investment vehicle. Utilize my list of vetted professionals who can help you add an armored truck to your financial fleet. All right, let's kick off this chapter with a quote. The best investment on earth is Earth. Lewis Glickman.